Welcome to 2-Point Lighting.
Hey guys, so I'm Matt.
I'm Tait.
And so we're friends, and so we thought we would do a podcast sort of about different general topics.
It's a podcast about nothing. We have nothing going on.
So essentially there's no official structure.
We talk about anything, apparently.
Yeah, and essentially where the name 2-Point Lighting came from, we had started this podcast prior with the idea that we would review primarily movies and maybe some TV shows. So the 2-Point Lighting essentially came from that style of lighting.
Yeah.
So we tried that out for a while, but we found that probably more general topics would have been, or are probably the better way to go.
It would be easier for me because I'm not into film that much. And so just having a conversation, I think, is just a lot more fun for me.
And I think the biggest thing, too, is when we would record the episodes for the review, essentially we would get together and we would pick movies that we would think that would have, been better in terms of commentary. And sometimes when we get together, we just want to watch movies that are more straightforward, and we found that those were just tougher to talk about.
Yeah.
And then we didn't want to make it seem like it's a chore to talk about movies. I was thinking I might do the odd solo review about movies, or we could probably talk a little bit about movies here and there.
Yeah, you can definitely bring up movies. This is an open discussion thing.
Yeah. So we thought to keep the original logo and name from our idea prior. So, so without further ado, I have some topics here.
Yes, you prepared some topics, and I completely forgot to. So we're off to a great start.
Okay, with the first episode, we're just kind of working out kind of the format and how we're going to go about things.
Oh man, there's going to be no format. We're just going to go and
go with the flow. That's what it is.
We're feeding
spontaneity.
We're sending ourselves to the wolves.
Yeah. So I got 4 topics here. So the first one that I have. And all of these 4 topics, they're more personable, and they're ones where I don't know if I know how Tate's going to respond to these, actually. So,
and I don't know anything about these topics right now, so these are surprising.
Definitely embracing the element of spontaneity.
Yes.
So, all right. So for this first question here, for this first topic, so favorite movie. And explain why, like what it means to you and why it's your favorite. So like, whether it's like a feel good movie or there's something about it that relates to you on a personal level, something like that.
Okay, so you wanted to go first because I do have an answer to this, and it's a bad one. It's a really bad one.
Curious at hearing it. So my response to this question, my favorite movie and why. I've actually been thinking about it recently. I've been talking to different people about essentially what would be my favorite movie.
Yeah.
When people would ask me that question, I kind of respond with, well, I had a bunch of movies that I consider my favorite, but to pick one specific one is always tough because depending on the mood that I'm in, I might watch this movie or that movie from my favorites list, but to pick one definitive favorite. But I think I do have one definitive favorite, and it's based on the criteria that I'm just always in the mood of watching it.
Okay, can I give a guess?
Okay.
I'm going to I get 5 guesses, how about?
Sure.
Okay. My first guess is, this is a movie you always seem to want to watch, what is it? Ocean's 11. Did I nail it?
Tait nailed it right on the head. So, yes, Tait is 100% correct. Actually, yes, it is Ocean's 11.
Yeah.
I have recently decided is definitively my favorite movie. It's a cut above all the other movies in my favorite list.
Yeah.
So essentially the reason why it's my favorite movie is because I feel like it just has a little bit of everything. Essentially this movie is technically categorized as a comedy. In some ways it's sort of a drama.
Brad Pitt's always eating on screen. That's the thing I know about
exactly. It. He's essentially, him and George Clooney just have the element of cool, which is a huge reason why I love the film. So for myself, I tend to love a lot of team building movies where there's a bunch of people, they have to work through their differences to work through a problem. Generally, that's what I like. And I also really love heist movies. Also for that reason, they have to work through a problem. I just find them very fun, very engaging.
Yeah.
And essentially with Ocean's 11, this movie actually, it's just such, the way it's directed, I just love the music that's in it. I love the lines of dialogue. I actually rewatch this movie so much, and I know the lines of dialogue, but they still hit, and I still smile. And it's the only movie where really, there'll be some back and forth between George Clooney and Brad Pitt's characters.
Yes.
And I just can't help myself but smile because they're just so. This is the best way I can describe it, at least right here in this moment. It's just cool. It's just, they're calm, cool, and collected. They don't appear to be stressed.
Yeah.
And why this is my favorite movie is because, for myself, how I tend to watch movies is, when I watch a movie, that movie stays with me, and I almost replay it in the back of my head.
Oh, okay. So you kind of keep thinking about and try and you keep replaying the movie and be like, oh yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, and yeah. I sort of apply it. It helps me deal with, depending what kind of movie it is. I find it's a movie might help deal with sort of escapism, but it's also in this movie it reinforces the idea of when you go through a conflict, you can rely on other people, that team building, camaraderie aspect, but as well to be calm, cool, and collected, like George Clooney and Brad Pitt's character.
Yeah.
So,
and
yeah,
I haven't seen it, but maybe this is a spoiler. The heist, they did the heist ahead of time or something.
Yeah, it was sort of a plot twist.
Yeah, it was like, we did it like weeks ago or something. I don't remember, but I haven't seen all of it. I've seen a little bit, but
yeah. There's essentially like this plot twist towards the end with how they did it, and they've revealed that they had already did it prior than what. There's sort of a big reveal towards the end with regards to the timing of how they did the heist.
Yeah.
But essentially, for myself, I'm a very anxious person, and throughout the course of my life, if there's something that's very stressful, whether it's a job interview or a presentation before school, sometimes I just need something that just is reassuring, that builds my confidence, and I actually will watch that movie before some event, like a job interview, like a presentation, and it actually helps calm me down, and just, it's a very comforting thought knowing that there's a team, and I just, and with the movie itself, there's comedy, there's drama, a bit of a romance plot.
Yeah.
George Clooney, I forget their Danny Ocean. Yeah. He tries to get Julia Roberts' character Tess back, so there's a little bit of
there's like a
redemption,
love,
like a love story to that as well. Just cool dialogue, cool plot, and it's definitively the best heist movie ever because, well, it's just you really feel like you're along for the ride. Like the I can't think of the villain's name, the guy that runs, not the villain, but the antagonist name that runs the casino.
Yeah.
Andy Garcia is his character, but I find him very intimidating. Like, he has this quiet, intimidating factor, so you're just on the edge of your seat. Like, what if he finds out? And it's the way they do the heist.
Yeah.
I was thinking about how, it's not super confusing, where they do talk about the heist beforehand and they go through the steps, but the way they do it, there's still an element of surprise where you don't know the full heist. So you're still engaged, but you don't feel lost because you feel like they do explain things a little bit prior.
Yeah.
I've watched this movie several times. I own it on DVD. I will continue to watch the movie several times.
Well,
I love it.
The reason I was able to pick it out so quickly is because whenever I don't think you've ever told me directly that's your favorite movie. But whenever we have a movie night and you're scrolling through Netflix, you're like, Ocean's 11.
And that's why
maybe
I am always in the mood to watch it.
And I'm always like, let's do it. And you're like, I've seen it a bunch of times, and then I've never seen it through.
I guess you've only seen the ending. Yeah,
I've only seen the ending. I think.
Yeah,
I got the ending right.
Yeah.
And I did a spoiler warning. Everyone's fine. Everyone's gonna hate me. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's my favorite movie of all time.
Okay.
So Tate, what is your favorite movie and why? And also, what
do you want to play this game again? Do you want 5 guesses? And your problem, and I'll give you a hint after each one. How about
okay. So, all right. Let's see. I'm trying to think.
It's a bad movie. No one likes this movie.
I'm trying to think in a similar way. Like when we were scrolling through trying to find a movie, was there a movie that you were like, that one?
I never saw it on Netflix.
So I may have a tougher time.
But you definitely have heard of this series. You've probably never heard of this movie.
So this particular movie of this series.
Yeah, you probably never heard of this particular movie, but it is a movie series, and it's a series in another aspect as well. But that'll be released. I'll give you a hint after our guess.
Now I'm even more confused. Okay, so it's a well-known series.
It's a very well-known series, extremely well-known.
But this particular
movie would not be well-known.
Okay, well. Thinking like the Star Trek franchise, and there's a Star Trek movie that's not as popular.
It's not Star Trek. Okay, it is the most profitable series in the world.
Profitable series, like the biggest IP?
It's the biggest IP in the world.
See. Star Wars, what's the biggest in the world would be like Mario?
You're a bit closer, but no.
What's the biggest?
Well, I guess I should stop.
Pokemon? I think Pokemon's the biggest IP technically.
Yeah.
So it's probably a movie in the Pokemon franchise.
Yeah.
Wait, you know what? I feel like when we were, because Tate and I used to work together, and we got on a lot of long conversations about things. I feel like he did mention this, maybe.
I probably mentioned it once, but I don't talk much about
Let's
movies.
see.
By the way, this is not a test of friendship. I probably didn't mention it.
Let's see. I'm trying. You know what? I can't remember the names of those Pokemon movies, but is it the one where it's like where Mewtwo is the focal point?
No, I don't think so.
Or
no,
there's
no Mewtwo in there. But
yeah,
because you probably don't know. You got to Pokemon though, right after the first hint.
Yeah.
It's called Pokemon Heroes.
Okay, I've got that one.
I love this movie. As a kid, I was blown away because it starts with them like water skiing through Venice, and I thought that was the coolest thing in the world.
Okay.
And then it goes into like this really heartwarming plot. And a lot of people, I think, compared it to like Studio Ghibli, but I haven't seen many Studio Ghibli movies, if any. I've seen one. But a lot of people compared it to that because I found it plot really emotional. And as a kid, it really grabbed me a lot.
Okay.
Because I'm not going to spoil it for you, although you're probably never going to watch it. But it's my favorite movie. There's a lot of things I love about it, and a lot of people don't like it. because and I think that's fair, but it's for nostalgia reasons, essentially. I saw it on TV as a kid, and I loved it.
Okay.
But yeah, that's my... I don't have much to say about it. Like, it's...
resonated with you as a kid?
It deals... Okay, for a kid's IP, it deals a lot with death.
Okay.
Like it deals a lot with death and the fall and the impact of it, and I think that's what grabbed me because that is something I'm always thinking about is death, and to have something handle it, and it handled it in, I thought, a very beautiful, sad, depressing way.
Okay. All right.
And it resonated with me. I don't know what else to say.
You know, I was just thinking that kind of reminded me on like a similar note. There's some kids movies that I saw as a kid, where like they even watch them now as an adult, like it still resonates because there's a deeper message that even adults can enjoy as well. I guess an honorable mention, like a movie that I have debated with if it is my favorite movie or not, like kind of in that list of favorite movies, is The Iron Giant, because The
Iron Giant's a classic.
It deals with morality. It deals with even subjects like death and what that means, and it does tackle some pretty serious topics. And I've watched it so many times as a kid. I love this movie, and I watched it when I was an adult as well. And it still hits, it still resonates. It's great.
Yeah, and so it was like that for me. It was kind of like, I should have guessed The Iron Giant for your favorite movie. Dang it! That wasn't even on the list. See, I wasn't listening because you mentioned it so many times, and you're like, that's one of my favorite movies.
Yeah, that's definitely But then again, it's like I'm thinking like, is it also one of my favorites in addition to, or because it's like so nostalgic? then I'm like, is that a fair like assessment of it? But even when I watch it and trying to just look at it for what the movie is, it's still a great movie.
It's a great movie.
So,
like, The Iron Giant is a classic, and I feel like, and maybe it was because the 90s was just full of innovation. 90s and early 2000s was full of innovation for movies.
Yeah.
I felt like they dealt with a lot more than movies do now, and had a lot more creativity to them. Mm-hmm. But that's old man yells at clouds moment. So
yeah. But on the subject of movies and favorite movies, I could definitely ramble for hours and hours.
Yeah.
So we may have to revisit this topic again, sort of in like maybe like movies that's that we like, that are underrated, or movies that we hate that are universally loved. Like those
I've got cool topics. Okay, we could just go on that right now. But let's move on. You have topics.
Yeah. So the next topic that I have here is favorite vacation. So what is a favorite memory that you've had, or favorite vacation spots that you've had?
Okay, do you want me to start this time?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. As a kid, I almost never went on vacation. I went on like across Canada. We're Canadian, by the way. There you go. I went on a cross Canada train ride, and I was 6 years old. I remember like none of it. Okay. That was the only vacation I've ever actually technically had.
Okay.
And so, but where I like to go to relax, which you might say is a vacation, but it's never been in the aspect of a vacation, is... Oh, I'm going to reveal details. Is Northern Canada. Is in the forest.
And I think you mentioned that before, because you have been Northern Canada.
I used to live in Northern Canada.
Yeah.
So on the shield of Canada. So I used to live there, and I loved it because there's so many lakes, there's so many oceans. The shield, it's fun to walk on all the rocks.
Yeah.
There's tons of rocks and like tons of like little hills, and it's fun to just walk on and go into the forest and everything. And where I lived, there was like these like crevices that you could like climb into, and you could swim across lakes, which I did a decent amount as a kid. So that would probably be my favorite vacation spot, I guess. Although when I get a chance to have a vacation, I plan on going back.
Oh yeah, nice. Yeah, the Shield is. I'm trying to think if I've ever. I mean, the Canadian Shield covers like a vast.
It's a very vast part of Canada.
So I'm trying to think if I've ever been in a spot where the Shield was prevalent in. I'm not sure if I have. Or
like not. It's the Shield is mainly northern Manitoba and Ontario.
Yeah. No, I've been. The few times I've been in Manitoba, in Ontario, it's been south, and it's just been. Yeah, no, I don't think I've really experienced it, but that's definitely a type of place that I would like to visit.
Close second, near Kingston, Ontario.
Okay.
Is if you, my grandma lived like an hour out of there, and it was beautiful, dude. The hiking was next level.
Oh yeah.
It was just full of trees that I hadn't really seen because I don't get out much. And so it was just tons of maple trees and everything, and I loved it. It was so much fun. Unfortunately, where I was, there was like a stream, and it was kind of dried up.
Oh yeah.
Thanks global warming or climate change. But that was a close second. I loved doing that. And vacations, I like to go into the forest, essentially. I like to be surrounded by nature.
I'm very much like a similar way. I have some family that lives out in British Columbia, BC. So going out there and exploring the different forests, like you just really feel like you're on like an adventure. And you also, I feel like when you're fully surrounded by nature, you just really tend to forget about other problems living in the city. You don't think about all the other stuff. Like for me, I tend to just de-stress from thinking about my job or school. It's just a breath of fresh air, and it just relaxes you.
Like one of my favorite things to do when I'm beyond stressed is I go on a walk, and if there's wildlife and I just get to observe it. Like sometimes I remember one time I was really upset, and I went out to walk on my own, and I just found this little mouse. And I just watched it for like 10 minutes. Watched it go about its day, and I was at a distance. I was oddly enough above it on a ledge, No, that sounds so bad. No, no, I wasn't there. I wasn't at that point. It was just like this. I was on top of a build. It makes it sound worse. It wasn't that. But it wasn't that. I was just. It's a common walking path where I was. There were other people. But just to watch this little mouse go about its day and like collect food and stuff, that calmed me, right? It puts your problems into perspective. Like, your world is not the only one. Mm-hmm. And it's nice sometimes to get a glimpse into another one. And I think that's extremely calming for me. So that's why I choose North. What about you?
Nice, yeah. I think definitely in like a similar way, like a spot where you're surrounded by nature, like for sure. My favorite vacation that I've done with my family, a number of years ago, we went out to the east coast of Canada, the Maritimes.
So that area, that would be nice.
Yeah. So we did.
So like Halifax area.
Yeah. So actually, we did a bunch. Actually, we did Halifax, Nova Scotia. We did Moncton in New Brunswick, and we also did Prince Edward Island. We were going to do Newfoundland and Labrador, but that's a little bit further out.
It's hard to get to Newfoundland.
We would have taken like a boat, and it just would have taken too much time to travel. So that's something where I don't know if as a family we'll go specifically to Newfoundland, but just for myself to finish off the Maritime trip. Yeah. I mean, there's still like a bunch of other places in like the Maritimes I haven't been, but certainly going back to the Maritimes to visit Newfoundland and Labrador, because I've never been there. Yeah. Just because there's some really cool places to see, a lot of old structures, and just seeing some pictures of it, like it feels like you're almost not even in Canada. It's just so different. Yeah. So it's the culture and everything.
Just the old buildings, because it's like Canadian. The French, at least, started there, right? And then moved over. So, like, if you're in the prairies like we are, it's a lot of newer buildings that are pretty ugly. Yeah. Whereas back over there, it's so old, and architecture was just more interesting at the time. Yeah. It was just kind of cooler, so.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so, like, I think, like, Newfoundland and Labrador would be a really cool place, and so... Yeah, then on this maritime trip that we did, it was so relaxing because the people over there are super friendly, and there's a lot of just cool places to see. Yeah, went to some cool restaurants, and just being out on the East Coast, it's you're out by the ocean. Us being in the prairies, like it's just a different experience, and so I was left with a very positive experience, and I would definitely go back.
Oh, dude, that's sick.
So I think usually my family goes out and does camping at different places, but I think out of all the trips, if I had to pick, probably that one. Yeah. So,
All right. Top pick 3.
Yeah. So third one here. I don't know if Tait knows this about me. Maybe he does. Maybe he doesn't.
There's a good shot I don't.
So unpopular food opinion. So this could be
a food. I don't know. Okay.
A food that either, let's say, that everyone universally loves that you don't like, or a food that you like that everyone universally hates.
Okay.
Maybe the first one might be an easier one to answer, but
food that you love that no one else does.
Yeah. So for this example, for myself, I have a food that I don't like that everyone else universally loves.
Can I get 3 guesses?
Sure.
Do you mind if I play this game?
Oh, it's all good. All good.
I've seen you eat pizza. I've seen you order pizza, so it's not pizza. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna guess it's not Italian. You don't like Chinese food.
Actually, I love Chinese food.
Oh, dang it. Okay.
Yeah.
I've never seen you eat Chinese food. We don't eat out a lot.
I guess when the other friends in our Tait and I's friend group, when we do go out, usually it's like some pizza or burger place. Yeah. Usually, so we don't really eat anywhere else. But no, actually, I love Chinese food.
And you love pizza, I think.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I love pizza.
Okay. What are the other big ones that You don't like seafood.
I actually don't mind it. I don't have to say. I'm more or less kind of indifferent. If it's there, cool, but I don't seek it out.
Okay, so you're indifferent to seafood, but a lot of people are different to seafood, right?
Yeah. So I guess yeah.
When you're in the prairies, where are you going to get seafood?
Yeah. Which,
okay.
when I went out to the Maritimes, there was a lot of seafood there, and I actually
There
can't
was
remember
a
if I
lot of
liked it or
seafood
not.
out there.
I think for me, like at this point, I used to be a picky eater when I was really young. Now I love pretty much everything except for this.
You don't like hamburgers.
Oh, I love hamburgers.
Dang it! Okay,
That's arguably my favorite food.
That's my three guesses. It's gonna be like, it's gonna be something fancy. It's like, oh, I hate souffle.
Oh no, this is actually really basic.
Okay, spaghetti. No, okay, I should let you go. Go ahead. I've done my three guesses. I've never seen you eat a burger. So.
Really? Really?
No, we don't eat a lot.
Oh, last time.
You went to McDonald's one time, right? No, that was our other friend.
When we were out last time with our whole group at
you got a pizza
Houston.
that time, right?
Well, I got a burger, but it was a bit of a different style of burger. It was
it was you and I thought it
sandwich.
was you who got the pizza. So
No.
you and me got a burger.
Yeah.
Well, I guess there goes it for you.
Although it was when I had ordered it, I actually didn't realize that like it wasn't in a bun. It was actually just like regular sandwich bread. It was a weird style burger.
Yes, I do remember that. Okay, it was a sandwich.
I forget the name of it, but yeah.
You don't like sandwiches? No, I don't know. Go ahead. I'll let you go ahead.
So before I say this, I should preface: I actually don't mind this. Because technically, I don't mind this sort of. It's not a food as much as. Okay, maybe I might have misled you. So it's not like
like a cooked food.
like a food. It's more like not like a sauce or a spread, but it's something you put on. And I don't mind this really by itself, or if it's just like on bread, but mixed with literally any other thing, which normally people love it when it's mixed in with something else.
Okay, I was gonna get hot sauce then, and now no, I like it just on bread.
I'm typically not a big sauce guy, like sauce and spices. If it's on something cool, again, I don't seek it out. I'm more or less kind of indifferent, but which I guess I'm a little bit odd for that in that regard. I mean, I love like tomato sauce and stuff like that. No, this particular food item that I don't care for is peanut butter.
Oh, and you're not allergic?
Nope, not allergic. That's the thing.
Okay, I'm assuming it's consistency based, or is it flavor?
It's so I think what happened when I was really young, where because I would eat like peanut butter on bread all the time. Like I don't mind peanut butter and jelly sandwiches or just straight peanut butter on bread.
Yeah.
That is one of the things. Recently, like as an adult, I don't really have a lot of peanut butter.
Yeah.
Just on bread, but I used to back in the day. I think why I got turned off from peanut butter was because whenever there was like treats or candies where I was expecting it to just be just regular chocolate.
Like Reese's?
Yeah, then if it was mixed in with peanut butter, like chocolate and peanut butter, I was kind of thrown off, and it's so, because peanut butter is so close to chocolate.
Yeah.
But it's off by a little bit. It was almost this weird, uncanny sort of expectation that was thrown off.
Yeah.
And I must have associated that with just it not being good when peanut butter is mixed with anything else, like chocolate. That is, it's similar but kind of not, and so the taste was just, again, like just kind of thrown off for me. So, any, like, if I were to go and do, trick or treating as a kid, anything that was mixed in with peanut butter, no, firm no. Yeah, and that's something like chocolate peanut butter ice cream, no. Chocolate ice cream, yes.
Peanut butter ice cream?
No, refuse. I will not eat peanut butter ice cream. It's just gross.
I love it. The thing is, I seek out. I should be telling you this. You're gonna have to guess, maybe. Yeah. Wow. I would not have guessed. The thing is, my roommate also doesn't like peanut butter that much, but it's not like a hate. It's more like he just doesn't seek it out.
See, for me,
But
it's
his
like,
dad's also heavily allergic, so he just never had peanut butter.
I see, and that's like people that I know that don't eat peanut butter are allergic to it. Like,
Exactly.
One of my other friends is like deathly allergic to peanut butter.
Yeah, and so he might have a strong distaste for that. Or they might have.
Peanut butter is so universally loved that when I tell people I don't like, or I don't prefer peanut butter, or whatever, the common question that I get asked is, "Are you allergic?" And I'm like, "No, I just."
Okay,
I just
the
don't like
one
it."
I asked, yeah. Are you allergic? Well,
Yeah.
I said I assume you're not. Okay,
Yeah.
that's funny. Okay,
So, I guess technically it's not. Is it a food or is it?
it's a food item.
Flavoring. I mean, yeah.
It's a what do you call it? It's a
condiment.
yeah, a condiment.
I guess
Because like mayonnaise, like ketchup, it goes on stuff, right? Not many people eat peanut butter out of the jar like me.
So it's one of those things where I actually don't mind it just by itself, like in terms of like just being on bread, mixed with anything else. No.
Okay.
So yours, let me see.
Okay, I've got one, and it's okay. This is not a strong distaste, but if I don't have to, I will make sure I get the least amount of it as possible. So
okay, let's see if I can guess it.
Yeah. 3 guesses.
Trying to think, and again, it's tough because when we do, eat at a restaurant, it's pizza and burgers. So like
Yeah.
Like it, so it's one that's universally typically liked that you
It's
don't like,
almost buddy, it's loved across the world.
but you hate it.
I don't hate it. It's just
no. You don't
if I don't have to get a ton of it, like I can like a little bit, but I don't like. Okay, I got 2 items actually.
Oh yeah.
One I do hate. Do we want to go with the one I hate or the one? One is like you could see that someone wouldn't like it. The other is like, wow, you're not a big fan of that. What the heck?
We'll do both.
Okay, we'll do both. Okay,
I'll try to shoot for the one that
we'll shoot for the first one. The one I'm like in.
you're not crazy about.
Not crazy about, and if there's too much, I dislike it.
Chili.
Oh, you're very close.
You're
Wow,
close?
Already you're
Reason that
so
I said
close.
chili is I didn't like it much as a kid, but now I love it. So
You're so close, but it's not necessarily.
spaghetti.
You're so close. Okay,
What's
what's
manicotti? I don't know.
what's on spaghetti?
Noodles? Need some. Wait, okay. Hold on. What's on spaghetti?
Dude.
I'm thinking what's in. Okay, that was a weird response.
Oh, dude, I love that response. That's funny.
Meat sauce. So you don't like.
Okay,
So
you're right.
Tomato sauce. You don't like tomato sauce.
I don't like marinara sauce
Okay.
much. On like pizza, I'll always specifically, if I'm ordering alone, I'll always just say the least amount of marinara sauce possible.
Fair enough. I mean,
But wow, you were on it like in chili because I think there's marinara sauce in chili.
Yeah.
There's definitely tomato sauce in there.
For me, it's like, you know what? I can almost see that because I was at a restaurant the other day and I don't know I don't know all the names of different sauces, but I had some kind of pasta and there was just a lot of sauce and it was a strong taste. And I actually couldn't even finish it.
Yeah.
So I can kind of see that. Yeah, like that's one where it's like yeah, actually, yeah. I mean it is pretty. It's close to maybe being universally liked, but I could see someone not liking it. Yeah, like I do see what you mean.
Yeah.
If like the taste is really strong, or it's just
If the taste is strong, or even just something about it, I just don't like the flavor much.
yeah,
Yeah. Weird.
oh yeah.
I don't like the flavor much. I guess the other ones I won't make you guess. You're gonna find out something about me. I don't like ground beef.
Okay.
I don't like ground beef.
So like, I guess like the people that I know that don't, well, that's what they don't like meat is just they don't eat meat for various reasons. And I mean, ground beef isn't the most healthiest, So, if people don't eat ground beef, if they just said they don't eat ground beef, I'm not shocked. If I were to hear that, because maybe it's like a health choice or whatever else.
I don't like the flavor and the consistency of ground beef.
So here's the thing. So things
Like, I like burgers. For some reason, burgers are fine. But, like, if I cook with ground beef...
I love ground beef.
Okay. My mom didn't know this. And so, like, throughout my entire childhood, she was like, meatloaf and everything. I hate meatloaf with a passion.
I didn't like it as a kid much, but I don't think I minded it much anymore.
But, I don't like ground beef much. Like, in some things I can have it. Mm-hmm. It needs to be heavily seasoned, essentially.
Okay.
But, in a taco where you have a lot of taco seasoning, I'm fine. But most other things I don't like.
I guess as a family, like, we eat quite a bit of ground beef, and it's one of those things where if you refused ground beef, no one would look at you crazy. They'd be like, oh, okay, I mean, ground beef isn't the most healthiest, and you could have, like, in theory, right, like somebody have like a certain health condition that it just is beneficial if they don't have it or whatever else, right? Or just meat across the board. Like,
I get the meat across. I think I'd go vegan if I could, or vegetarian.
Like, I think people would just, like, people wouldn't be like shocked and be like, oh, really? Because again, maybe that person's vegetarian or vegan, and it's like just like a personal choice. So, but to say that you don't like it though, I could see how that would be shocking.
Again, it's very okay. I don't like it to the point where I've put myself into iron deficiencies from not eating enough beef at all. And that's a personal preference because, like, certain things, like steak, I like steak. I like some steak.
Yeah.
But it's like, it's so expensive. And so I don't eat it a lot. And then
Fair
I just
enough.
don't like ground beef. And so I just don't buy it. And there, like, I eat a lot of spinach, but that's not a ton of iron. And so I've actually put myself into iron deficiencies.
Wow.
So not eating ground beef because you don't need beef, but you do need iron in your diet. And so I literally now take iron pills like daily.
Okay.
To try and keep my iron up.
Interesting. I mean, I guess depending what you're making, like ground beef does, I don't know. You could take it's could take a bit to prepare, to cook.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, it depends, I guess.
Well,
what
like,
you're
if
making.
it's not seasoned properly, then I really don't like it. Like, in a lot of recipes I have that require ground beef, I just substitute it with vegetables.
Okay.
That's just something I do. So
Interesting. Yeah.
I got one more if you want.
Okay.
I hate the flavor of dill. I can't. Okay, this one isn't like, oh, he'll eat it and he'll enjoy it. No, I refuse to eat dill. Anything dill.
Tate, this. So, I mean, okay, if I had to look at a general perception, I actually don't know what society's general consensus is on
Pickles,
dill, like
stuff.
dill pickles.
Yeah.
I eat that stuff religiously. So I love dill. I tend to love like sour things like citrus, dill. Like I just love sour.
I love
citrus,
stuff. But I can't stand dill.
I'm addicted to dill pickles, man. I don't. But then again, that's just me. But I think if you were to say that generally, I think people would not think maybe that's too crazy. But for me, I don't know.
In my experience, one time I was working at a camp, and I told them I didn't like dill. The staff pinned me and like pushed like a dill pickle into my face.
Really?
Yeah, that actually happened. I never ate it though, but I don't like dill.
Huh.
I don't like dill pickles. I don't like dill at all, and that is
like
a refuse.
It is a pretty strong taste, so I mean,
It's a strong flavor that I just don't appreciate.
Interesting. Well, wow. I'm the furthest, the exact opposite opinion. I love that. So
yeah.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah. No, I didn't know that about you. So.
Well, like, when does it come up? It's like, hey, I'm Tate. I don't like dill.
I guess it never really. Yeah. I mean,
you've never offered me a pickle, so.
Yeah,
but it's kind of a weird thing to if you come over. It's like, hey, you want a coffee and a pickle or something?
And honestly, like when we talk, and even with our other friends, like we don't talk about food really all that much.
We don't talk about food. It's a lot of movies,
a lot of nerd culture. We're a bunch of nerds
and catching up, like because
yeah,
we don't also see each other a lot.
Yeah.
So
yeah, we all work together, and now we're all doing different jobs, and so usually we just catch up, talk about a bunch of other stuff, but never food really.
Never really food.
Yeah. Interesting. Okay.
All right. Do we want to do the last one, or we could also save it for the next episode? We're pushing 40 minutes.
You know what? We'll save it for the next one because this one we can go on for quite a while. So we'll save it for the next one.
Okay. This has been fun. I had fun with this.
Yeah. No, it's. I think we had a pretty good first episode or first reintroduction. I
the
guess.
reboot,
like the reboot of our podcast, the 2 Point Lighting podcast. So with this sort of open formats, like moving forward, we might kind of continue to do this, or if there's a situation where there's a topic that is more complex, we just want to have the whole episode devoted to that. Like we're pretty fluid. We're kind of just seeing what works. We're just experimenting with how this format goes, and Tate and I might also do just like solo reviews. Like I might do my own solo film or TV show reviews, or like if you want to do like more video game reviews or whatever.
I'm down to do that too. Yeah.
So this
has been 2 Point Lighting. I'm Tate.
And I'm Matt. And thanks for watching. And catch us again on our next episode.
Whenever that may be. See you guys next time.
See ya.